YouTube. Welcome to everybody that's joined in. I am Lucky Sixes, and today we are joined by Mr. Rob Cousins. AKA, what's your AKA again?
I am Destroy'em on the forums.
Destroy'em. But also, people may recognise your voice from podcasts as well that have been and gone.
Yeah. Renegade Ramble podcasts, and I think I've appeared on most of them now. I don't think I've been as far north as Scotland, but everybody else I seem to have been on.
Yeah, but most importantly, and specifically for today, you are tournament organizer of the Cardiff Open / Welsh Championships.
Yeah. So fifth Cardiff Open, and the first time this has kind of been combined with the Welsh Championships.
Yeah, which is very exciting. It's being held at Firestorm Games in Cardiff, which I was lucky enough. I actually went to the first time. Was it in July? Which is a bit shameful, really, because it's been open for a year and a half or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, quality venue, my friend. And if anybody hasn't been, here's another picture just to show you the inside. 2 layers or 2 floors rather. Oh, a lovely venue. I mean, hard not to say the best in the UK.
Well, it's the quality of and the amount of daylight that you get for a gaming venue that's a bit ridiculous. It's an old car showroom, so like that central bit in the middle is where a motorbike used to sit and spin around. So, it's nice, clean toilets, a kitchen, a bar.
I'm going to stop you at clean toilets because that's absolutely the case. It's so important.
Yeah, well, some venues I'm pretty sure have had a bucket. Nice bucket and or hole in the wall, and store 100. I think it's 100 tables there.
Yeah.
It's even got video. They had tables on them, but they've got video tables.
Yeah.
So for like D&D, but obviously you can play whatever you like on it. You just type in the map, and it puts the map on a TV screen, and you can play on it.
And I went there. I saw the live stream. Obviously, that's where my eyes.
Yeah. On the top.
That was really cool as well. So loads of stuff. I spent way too much money there as well, and unfortunately, I can't see that going any different. I've made sure that the door's closed so my wife can't hear that. I bet that's fine. So as long as she doesn't go in. As we mentioned, it is combined with the Welsh Championship. So as well as maybe not a trophy of this size, but a trophy that you would get and the honour of winning the Cardiff Open, you also get something very special.
Yeah. So this year, with it being the Welsh Championships, the powers that be have said that the winner of this tournament will get their Welsh Championship place at the Masters.
Yeah. So
that means you can be lazy and not turn up to any other event and do what we call a stone banks and win a tournament and get an automatic slot. So,
which I think, I'm not sure, it would be the first time in a long time where the Welsh, the English, and the Scots have all gone ahead in the same year.
Yes. Yeah. The Welsh, to be honest, this is, I think, actually the first Welsh Championships. It's partly why it's combined, because getting their act together.
Yeah.
I don't know if Ireland's happening this year.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I hope so, because that
would be
an amazing Masters if for like 4 of them had gone to that. But really good. Probably one of the last chances, unless Ireland do something with that regard, to get an automatic qualification. So big chance for anybody. As always, it comes with as well as something as renowned as the Masters spot. We also get a child as one of the prizes.
You can have a so that is from Deep Cut Studios. So they are a really good sponsor of the event, and once again they've come through. So that is a 6x4 desert themed game map, which will be going to the lucky winner.
Yeah, lovely. I've got one of their game mats actually, and they're superb.
They're pretty much the best. They got so good to roll dice on. They don't make the dice bounce off, and they're mouse mat materials, so they're pretty hardy. Yeah. And a great thing.
A few other mystery prizes that we're on purpose keeping a secret.
Well, I've got Spellcrow, who are a miniatures company, I think, out of Spain. Might be wrong. But they're sending a bundle of goodies, and also Firestorm, obviously, sponsoring the event, being the venue. So they will give their usual array of vouchers. But which means that you don't have to explain to the wife while you've spent a lot of money on miniatures. You can say, I won them. Yeah, so there were the usual array of prizes, trophies, various free stuff for everybody, the usual dice and packs and everything. So try to look after the players as much as possible. So yeah.
And probably going on to the main bulk of this. Your standard sort of tournament in terms of 4,500, although you have changed up the deployments and objectives.
So
a little bit.
So 4,500 points, 5 games, 3 on the Saturday, 2 on the Sunday. But yeah, there's been obviously a lot of chat in the UK about the fact that we've had the same missions and maps for 3 years. Is it now 3 or 4?
Yeah, I think 4.
Yeah,
I think 4.
And obviously when we had UB and lockdown, we obviously had quite a few different ones, and people found that really good. So I thought for this tournament, being after ETC, because obviously that's where the guys are as we speak. Where before ETC they tend to want to play the missions that are ETC with the armies that they're playing ETC. I thought it was a perfect opportunity to kind of mix it up a bit, where 4 of them have been selected by previous winners. So this is the 5th Cardiff Open. So I messaged the previous 4 champs and said, this is what I want to do. Do you guys want to come up with some missions? And I worked with them to come up with 4 of the 5 missions and slightly different deployments for the tournament. So
which presumably means you toned down what they gave you.
I think it was more back of the fag packet is
sure.
Kind of explain it, and how do you make this work in a tournament, and how not to make it as bent as possible. And also the great thing about Ninth Age as a TO is it kind of looks after itself, because there's no ambiguity, or there's not many grey areas. You start chucking in slightly different objectives and missions, you kind of can end up making work for yourself. So,
which is why we're doing this video, really.
Yes,
to give a bit of context to it, and we'll get stuck straight in with round 1. So, and what I'll do is in the description, I'll do a little summary of round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for people who want to just look at it. But for a bit of context, or a bit of description on it, round 1, and already we're straight into the different side of things.
Yeah. So actually, it's all about round 5. The different ones. So this is, I had to come up with a name for it because none of them gave names. So I've called this Horns of the Buffalo because it is very much. It's a bit more like in circle. Obviously, big flanks, big middle. But obviously, unlike the classic in circle, this one's a bit more extreme in the fact that if you're on the big flanks, you have no middle. It closes completely in the center, and the same as if you have the big middle, you have no flanks, they disappear down to the board corner. So obviously straight roll off, choose whether you want top or bottom, or big flanks, big middle. And so that's the deployment.
Really cool.
So obviously hopefully it's going to be easier to do as well, because it is a straight line, unlike that kind of weird
where you won't put the dice out.
Exactly. This is put it on. So when they're the big middle is pretty much to the center of the board. So you can really dominate the center, but obviously the other guy on the flanks can really wrap around your flanks.
And the second part, the secure target, as you know, but with an additional thing, which was I thought really cool.
This the guy who came up with this. You could probably work out who it is, but there is a big thing where everybody drops for first. It's seen as a massive pro, and people write their army lists according to it. So the big thing is a secure target, but whoever finishes dropping first, obviously says they want first or second, but then their opponent adds up how many drops they've got left, not including scouting and ambushing, and then can move both objective markers 2 inches times how many units they've got left. So if you've got 3 units left, they can move both those objectives 6 inches towards themselves or further away. But the thing I've added in is they still have to be 24 inches away, so no moving them right next to each other.
Sure.
Because then it gets confusing.
Really interesting. That's really interesting. And that will add a new... I think that's going to change the lists in some... Because you're going to have... Well, in terms of putting stuff down, you might add more chaff, so you can do that, or even just having more units. Like your Death Star things are going to really struggle in this one.
Yeah, I think also it's a bit anti-Darkhide. I'm not a massive Demons fan. Anybody knows me?
Anything we can do to just dull down the Demons is
the idea of drop. I'm going to drop for first, but deploy 2 units. How's that a thing? But anyway, that's how it works. So yeah, obviously we'll see how it goes. But this is one of the missions that one of the guys has come up with. So
very cool.
Looks
so round
good.
1, Horns of the Buffalo and Secure Target Plus.
Yeah, Secure Target Plus. That's what I've got it.
Yeah, very cool. Going on to round 2, middle of day 1, Frontline Clash, but we have a little difference in it, in that it's completely blind deployment.
Yeah, so blind deployment has been done before, and the person who came up with it wanted to do blind deployment. I said, we've got another option. He said blind deployment. So we thought it'd make it work. So it's classic battle line, classic breakthrough. So no difference there. But instead of getting the big like sheets of paper and trying to hide deployment, what I'm going to do is I always have map packs for all of the tables. So some of them are based off, they're based off map packs over the last couple of years that the night page was produced.
Yeah.
So this is kind of an example of what I'm going to do. So at the end, because obviously between round 1 and 2 is lunch, Tawny Keeper means it's quickly easy to get tables up, and everybody will get a map. You and your opponent roll for sides. The winner chooses can either choose first or can choose the side they want. So it's either or. And then you draw on your map where you deploy your units. Okay. Now, I'm not expecting scaled, detailed, getting a ruler out. Okay. We're talking kind of basic deployment. This unit's left of this unit, this unit's in front of this unit. So this is kind of an example of what I've done. So obviously it's quite hard to read, but I've got like a giant on the left, and then spider, orcs, black orcs, gobos, a unit of chaff, smaller orcs on the left, GGI behind, a splatter renegade launcher, and then you put where your characters are.
Obviously, which is probably the most important bit, right?
So you put it all on, and then before you guys reveal it, it's probably a good idea to quickly double check that you've put everything on there with your opponent. But obviously, if I was then to go and deploy this, and although I've got those 5 units all kind of squished on the far right-hand side of the board, I'm not going to say you can't deploy them. But as long as they're in that order, even if it fills up from the right, and it's in that order, that's absolutely fine in my eyes.
Yeah.
As long as they've got to maintain their 1 inch. Yeah.
So have an air of sportsmanship, boys and girls, and don't come to rob every single day.
Yeah. Well, I will be there, and I'm quite happy to make judges' decisions, and I'm quite happy to thing. If you've put your unit blatantly in front of the other one on the picture, it's going blatantly in front of the unit. Whether that's 1 inch or 2 inches, I'm not going to care. Angles, not really bothered about it. I don't want people drawing it to. It's just more, are you putting all your army in the middle, on the right, in the left, and what are you putting here, there, and everywhere? And it gives a really start going, right, I'm just going to load the side and rush, which is a bit of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very much looking forward to this and seeing how that goes. But yeah, otherwise, as you said, it's Frontline Clash and Battle Breakthrough as standard. So we're all good from there. And then on to the last game of day 1, Quadrants. And if anybody played Massacre, it would be a similar one to that. Just to give a brief explanation of Quadrants.
Yeah, so obviously, as the map kind of shows, deployment zones are proper corners. So you draw a line down the centre, and you can't deploy within, I think it's 18. 18 of the centre, or no, of each other. So 9 from the centre. You just put your army in those quadrants. For scoring, it's dominate the field. So at the end of each turn, if you have more units than your opponent in your deployment zone, you get 1 point. The 2 neutral zones are added up and treated as 1 zone. If you've got more units in scoring zones in those, you score 2 points. And if you've got more units in your opponent's scoring zone, which would be pretty good feat, you get 3 points.
Absolutely.
And you add it up each turn. Whether people want to add it up or just work out how many they're ahead of their opponent, I don't mind. But by the end of the game, it's whoever scores the most points scores the points. So it promotes aggressive and essentially taking over the field as much as possible with scoring units. The one thing I added into this is your unit center is where the quadrant is counted. So no conga lining or putting a big old unit in the center and having all 4 quadrants. You choose which quadrant.
Essentially, you can a unit can only score in one of the quarters. And presumably, if it was a decision, you would decide which one. If it was you can see a unit kind of shimmying around to work out where the other units are in relation to it to score the most points. But specifically the center is what you're aiming to get into something. So but that's it. I say, having played it, it's quite a really fun one to do, and that would be a nice fun one to end on the day, for sure.
Of all the ones, it required the least brain work, which is generally a good thing for last thing on a Saturday.
Just get there. Round 4 on today too, and this is the last of the altered ones as well. Missing the pass.
So this is, some people will see the map with joy, some people will see it with terror. So this is the old Battle of the Past map. So deployed essentially either flank and fighting across the battlefield. So quite narrow, doesn't promote like a big spread play. But for deployment, before deploying, each player will have a little card and they'll write down 3 pairs of units. So whatever they want.
Of their own army.
Of their own army, So then everybody deploys as normal. So you can do alternating, you can drop for first, whatever you want, I don't mind. But essentially then, once everybody's deployed everything, including scouts, you can then look at your little card, and if you want to cross any of them out, you can. But obviously you don't know what your opponent's got on their card. You both show your cards, and then you swap those pairs of units. So, for instance, if you had a unit of Feldrax on the right and a unit of Knights on the left, and your card said Feldrax and Knights, you obviously have the option to see what they're facing. And if you don't like what they're facing, you can swap them over. But obviously, you've got to bear in mind your opponent might do exactly the same thing. And
swap them after you.
Well, you're both doing it at the same time.
So
if they've tried to double cross you at the same time as you've double crossed them, but obviously you have the option to not change it, but obviously you don't know what your opponent's going to do at the same time. Now, you can swap things at scout. That's absolutely fine, but obviously something can't move to a position where a scout is outside a deployment zone if it doesn't have scouts. So no, putting a scout unit and then moving a Death Star to where the scouts are.
Your blunderbuss is up.
Exactly, But it was a bit more move. It's a bit like the Mists mirror that Wood Elves have, a bit similar to that, moving stuff about. But we thought the swapping of units was a bit more fun.
And with the swapping of the units, can you put the same unit on multiple cards?
Yeah. So you could swap one and then swap them again. And you can do it in whatever order you like. So it's just those 2 swaps. So you could put one unit and put 3 different options if you wanted to. That's absolutely fine.
So it's a tactic in itself to work out.
Yeah, it's a tactic in it. And it's kind of like, I called it Mist in the past, because it's a bit like you have scouts come back. Well, I know there's an enemy there. Don't know what it is. Could be a unit of chaff. Could be the massive Death Star. Don't know. So you think you know what you're facing, but obviously it could just change very quickly when you actually see the enemy at the start. But also, so that's for deployment. For objective, it's spoils of war. Now, obviously, with spoils of war, that means that you measure from the long board edge. So what it means is the actual outside pieces are 1 inch from, well, they actually should be on the board edge. But I've said to put them 1 inch from the board edge. So they're right on the edge. So it really spreads the battlefield out. And it means, obviously, it's not a wide battlefield to start with, but it really forces you to go out onto the flanks. And so obviously with the swapping of units as well, you can really load.
Jank it up.
One side.
Yeah, man. This is good. And it's very good that you've got all night to think about this one, I think, as well. In terms of that thing. So that's gonna be a really nice one, and very different. Probably the most different out of all of them, I'd say.
Yeah, it's a bit like calling. If anybody watches American football, it's a bit like calling an audible at the last minute.
Yeah.
And you shift all your heavy players onto the right hand flank and splits them. But yeah.
And then to finish, nice and easy, boys and girls. Dawn Assault and Capture the Flags.
Yes, Capture the Flags had to be in because 2 or 3 of these new missions really promote MSU.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was like, what message with MSU? Well, one of the guys looked at him and went, MSU dwarves are going to love this pack. And I'm like, I don't want to promote MSU.
Yeah, so they can lose in the last game and be done with it. That's good.
And usually the last game is a game you do not want to lose big as well, because it's a game you can go from being in the top 3 down to 12th, 13th point happening.
No, but so really interesting, especially with that last edition. It sort of rounds it off quite nicely. And to anybody, I guess to anybody that's got any questions on any of these, there is a forum thread already. But if you want to put them in the comments here, I'll just forward them to Rob and reply on that. So we have a direct line now, don't we?
Yeah, you can send them to me, or in the tournament pack, there's my email. Just email me if you don't want to put it on the thread.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a silly question. Anybody who knows me as a TO, I'm fair. I want people to have a good game. I don't really look kindly on people being gamey.
Sure.
It's everybody wants to have fun, and there has to be a certain level of common sense used, in my opinion, when you're playing games to
absolutely.
Make it fun.
And I say this is definitely one of the more sort of fun promotion things as well in terms of that thing. There are still places, I believe. For this. So if there's whetted your appetite, or you're coming back from ETC and going, I need something to do, this is the place to do it. I'll put a link in the description, so if you want to go down to that, the first line will be a link directly to the forum thread, which will give you all the things you need to do to sign up. But if you are signed up, 29th of August, midnight is I think that's 12 p.m. I'm not quite sure.
I'm never sure. I put 12 noon and 12 midnight just to be sure.
That might be.
I think it's 12 a.m., mate.
But... Yeah, I've said that. But it's midnight on Monday, the 29th of August, is when you have to submit your list. And of course,
that's Bank Holiday Monday, if anybody wants to know. So you've got the whole Bank Holiday weekend to write your list and then submit it.
And to rewrite, and then giving them the extra Bank Holiday day to think about it. And I like it to really mull over it. And then, of course, for people that are wanting to join that haven't yet, it's the 10th and 11th of September, Saturday and Sunday. Although I imagine people will be down on the Friday for shizzles.
So unlike the old Firestorm, the new Firestorm's open till I think 10 or 11 o'clock on a Friday and a Saturday night. So where the old Firestorm used to shut around 8 o'clock, this new Firestorm's got a full bar. It's got shed loads of board games there, so you can just I think there's like £1 or £2 to hire them or something silly like that, just like as an honesty jar. But they're all the latest ones. So you can get there, book tables, play games. There's always card games going on, and obviously all the tables are there. With the tickets, there are 50 tickets, I think, available. I think we've sold just over 30 now. So there's about 18 left, I think. But the venue has a capacity of 100 or 120, I think. There's a Flames of War event going on at the same time, and essentially we've got given 50 tickets each.
Cool.
But obviously, if all 50 tickets are sold, we can start eating into the reserve of 20, and then, to be honest, we can do more. So anybody who does want a ticket, just go on the forum. They're sold through Firestorm, so purchase them through Firestorm. And then you've solidified your place on the list.
Yeah, absolutely. And really that draws us to a close of this video in terms of that. Nice just to give you guys a bit of extra time to mull over them sort of scenarios and things. But as always, it will be all the links and stuff that will be on the forum thread for people that like to read. But yes. Thanks very much, Rob, for coming on, going through those, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing you boys down in Cardiff in September. And now I've just got to think about my list.
No, the one thing I will add is if anybody does spot any massive flaws in the missions, and I do have to slightly tweak them, it will be on the forum. That's where I'll post it. They've been extensively looked over by guys in the Vale Renegades and Team Wales, but that doesn't say anything. So if anybody really spots something that's going to be broken, I may put a tweak in it, and that'll be on the forum.
Subject to change if necessary, but otherwise, that's your job.
It's only going to be small tweaks, so it might be you can't do this.
Yeah.
But it's not going to affect your lists.
Yeah, absolutely. And they'll certainly be very, very different to what the standard tournament is. So that'd be very good. And I guess after ETC, what some people are looking for as well.
Exactly.
Cool. But yes, as I said, thanks very much for joining us. If you've got any questions, do put it in the description. In the comments and on the forum. And otherwise, we'll be putting up some other content to do with the Cardiff Open and the Welsh Championships a bit closer to the time. Until then, Rob, have a very good time, a very good summer, and we'll see you in September.
See you, man.
See you later.